Hey there, it's that mama, and I'm ready to take you on another destination. First of all, it's a French scenic destination, and I didn't have any clothes, so I made them myself. I made some shoes, got a pink flower motif going on, pink glitzy shoes right there that I made. Then I made this pink little sundress with detailed flower sleeves. And then on the top of my head, a PBR shimmering pink hat with a yellow bright bow. And I've got a parasol. It's like a regular umbrella. Yes, it's not the fancy parasols, but it is PBR, my first PBR, and it will rain a little tiny cloud around you when you wet to as well. And I didn't show you, but it doesn't switch to the side when you're walking. You'll see. But this is the TheNest Sunbird Featherwish that we're going to. So the TheNest Sunbird Featherwish, go ahead and push that teleport and open it up in your viewer, and away we go. There it is. We've got the place profile, and we're going to go teleport. Now, there was one other person here when I teleported in. There's probably like a few 2 to 5 people here on this sim, but this one person, she's in my clips. I can't. You'll have to see her name tag, but to give her credit, yay! But here's a very scenic view. Lots of greenery, lots of soft. It's almost like a oil painting on a canvas type atmosphere. I love it. Very soft, muted colors, but still bright and charming. So I'm going to take a stroll down here. Here's the official, like, Sunbird logo. And there's some waterfalls over there, a big old lake over there, and big mountains in the background. And it's just a very scenic place, again, to take your pictures, which I'm framing in and trying to do. Now, it says take the scenic route and start the exploration at the train station. So I push that, and we're going to teleport to the train station. And here is the train station. And I fiddled around here for a little bit. And for the life of me, I did not find anything clickable that started a train tour. So I don't know if that was a misinformation sign, but there is nothing here to start a train that pops up and travels on the track and takes you around the sim. I couldn't make it work. If a viewer is viewing this and has done a train simulation tour of this venue, that would be absolutely fantastic if you could show me that, but I just wanted to investigate where the hell the train was. So I took a jump on the wild side of life and started walking on the train tracks. Oh, and here's a train sitting down here, but it's just for pretties. I went and checked it. It doesn't have any scripts in it. None of these signs on the way to the train do anything. I investigated it as much as I could without falling into the water. You can't even hardly get into the train. It's not seatable inside the train. The benches aren't seatable. There's no spot to sit on that you get from SL. So it's just a pretty. Just like the little tugboat out in the water is just a pretty. And it's a cool classic old train, but it is not taking anybody on a train tour. So that's what I'm doing right now. It's just clicking everywhere to see if I can get this train moving, and it's not budging. number 15 San Justa is down on the tracks. Okay, so I went back to the front of the train station and I found this little hopscotch board and I thought, oh, I hope it works. And to my delight, I clicked on it and it is an active hopscotch board. So let's watch me hopscotch. That was so delightful. It made up for no working train. So here we can take a little path back or down to the beach. And this is the big lake that you see here. And there's a little tiny island with a little tree out there. And I didn't see anything at the little tiny island with the tree. So I'm going to go at the end of my video, I'm going to hit the highlights that was disappointing about the sim. But right now we're going to stay positive. This is a beautiful little setting area. It looks like you're going fishing. So if you've got any, it's not a 7 Seas, but if you got a fishing pole, you can take it out and do some poses and probably pull off a beautiful picture of 2 people fishing or yourself just sitting back and fishing. Okay, I'm going to run back up into the main teleport area, up these steps, and explore more of this sim. Like I said, the flowers and the greenery are really beautiful. This whole brick pavement is really nice. This is a store. It's not open, but we can get some shakes. Why not get a nice yummy shake and get it down into our tummy before we explore this sim? And then always, if you push it, then a blue box pops up. You select which flavor you want, then you have to close your blue box because the OKs that let you have the item pop up behind the blue boxes. That's the way the blue menus always work. But there was our shake. You stop in here in this little shack. You cannot enter, but it has a picture of some biscuits. These are all non-operable items. You can't get anything from the bread, but that oven is so homey. That was a homey bread making oven. I loved it. So we'll continue into the town section. Kind of stop by here. Here's into the town section, and there's a whole bunch of antique looking stores. This is a men's shop. It actually opened and I could walk into it, but there was nothing. These are just mannequins. They weren't selling anything. I couldn't walk into it. So I went on to the next shop. And here is the designer of the sim, and she also makes this. I'm pretty sure this is the designer of the sim, but if it's not, it's Daphne. And it's always never, the vendor always never. And this is an actual store of hers. She's the only store here on this sim. Very cute items. She has, let's see, this tattoo on the neck, tattoos around the ears. I'm going to come back and get some of those. Are pretty cool. For your, I would assume it's 150 linens. I'd assume it'd work on your pierced ears and things. Coffee mugs she has, drinking bottles, different stuff like that, all 150 linden. So it's a cute little shop, and that's the only one that is being used. So maybe the potential of having your own shop here could be you could be able to do that if you contacted the owner. Here I thought was interesting. I stopped in here to this shop, and it has a Dungeons and Dragons screen. And I was like, ooh, she's a Dungeons and Dragons fan. So no other intricate details or playing pieces of Dungeons and Dragons, but just a little Dungeons and Dragons screen that was pretty darn cool. So I walked around to the rest of these shops. There's a little playing area. Looks like she could have held a live concert here, probably the day of the opening and things like that, or she does it every once in a while, pays a live artist, and has some people and friends here on the sim. But all of these stores are pretty much just pretties in the land. This one you can actually walk into, so this is another potential of where you could actually sell your goods, set up a little shop, but you'd have to contact the owner, and I'm going to go ahead and find out all of that information, who's the owner of the buildings and things, and maybe you can, if you wanted to, set up a shop here. But we're going to take a stroll into the Botanic Park, established in 1873. There's a couple of ways you could go. I picked the high road. So we're going to trek through here. If you had a horse, and you might be able to res things out here. I didn't try, but it would be an adequate horse trotting trail. It's big enough and it's long enough where you could have a nice stroll with your horse as well instead of just walking. But I zoomed out, and it's a big old forest park with lots of greenery, lots of rocks. It's beautiful. I love just walking along here and seeing the forest, beautiful variations of trees and rocks and grass and the flowers, and it's not heavily overdone. And again, the soft pastel colors. I love the colors of this sim. It just makes you feel so cozy and invited, and it's so warm. Here's a piano up on the top of a grassy knoll. Promise you're not going to find JFK around here or his shooter. So it's not that kind of town. It's not the Wild West. But we continue until we get to the outskirts of the town again. And we're back here. We're going to investigate the waterfall. And we also have a lot of beautiful statues. And here's a site of the houses as well. But we'll dip down into the waterfall next. I love this boat tethered to the dock here. It's beautiful pink roses. All these flowers tucked inside it and a lamp on it. That's very cool. Some swans kissing in the background. So, yes, that boat was from Simurg. Now we're going to dive into rentals. There are a few places that you can go to do some rentals, and there's the finch, the robin, the blue jay, and the owl. And I went to the robin and the owl. So you can come back and explore the blue jay and the finch on your own and see what lovely housing she has available. I got booted from this place when I tried to walk in, of course, because you're not renting it. So she has a security orb set up for each house. But I dived in there and was able to show the house for about 30 seconds. And then I got booted. But this is a nice little A-frame. This is the Robin 2. And it is available for rent right now. And then I went to the Owl 1 and checked it out with my camera so I wouldn't get booted. and it is available for rent. And there's several different Owl 1s and Robin 2s and stuff set up all over the place. But I just went to this particular one to show you all the different houses. There's, like I said, the finch and the blue jay out there as well. But you can see when I pull back, all of these beautiful houses up on the hill. Some are rented already and some are available. So come and pick it out, because this would be a beautiful place to rent. Here is, yep. And then I came back to the city just to look at this little roadster bike. I thought maybe, oh, we can go on a tour or something like that. It's just posable. And it's only posable with the standing. So towards the end, to wrap everything up, I love this place. I love the environment and the soft pastel tones and all of the housing that's available and how the whole sim is laid out. And you have a big old track that you can walk around the whole entire sim. The scenery is beautiful. There's a lot of places to take scenic pictures and everything. But there are some buts. As I set up in this beautiful little picturesque pose and take a picture of myself, there are a lot of things that are just for landscaping. They don't function, like the balloons out in the air. That is just for landscaping. That is just for decoration. There is no balloon ride, which is, you see the balloons out in the sky and you want to go on a balloon ride. There's none of that. There's the little tugboat was not operable. The train was not operable. The little scooter was just for a pose, and it was standing only. That was funky. You couldn't sit down on it and take pictures, but it's not one that you can detach and ride yourself with someone else, a significant other, around the sim. There's no bikes that are that way that you can detach and ride around in the town. There's some bikes sitting up on racks and things, but they weren't able to ride. So a lot of these type of systems like that you see in other destinations wasn't here. But on the plus side, they have rentals. They have a lovely waterfall. They have the opportunity of store shops if you get hold of the owner. And I will have all that linked in the description below. Thank you for viewing, and come visit the Sunbird. It's that mama with good times on the grid. Bye-bye.